This conference will now be recorded.
So we are done with 2 hours of classes. In the first two classes, what we discussed is, in the first class, we discussed some introduction to Power BI. In the class 1, we discussed introduction to Power BI. And in the class 2, yesterday's class is class 2. In the class 2, we seen how to download the Power BI software and how to install the Power BI desktop software we seen. Right, so we can download the software from this link and I shown you how to install it. To install Power BI desktop software, what are the prerequisites we discussed in the last class, right? So once we install Power BI desktop software, I explain at a high level what is Power BI desktop, what we will do with Power BI desktop. I explain at a high level what we will do with Power BI desktop. And we know that Power BI desktop contains three softwares in it. Power BI desktop contains three softwares in it: Power Query, Power Pivot, Power View. In the last class, we discussed all about Power Query. Where do we have Power Query? How to do the ETL activities with the Power Query? We discussed in the last class. Overview of Power Query software. We discussed all about Power Query, guys. Today's class is class number 3. In the class number 3, we'll discuss about which software now? Power Pivot. Today, we'll discuss what is Power Pivot, how we'll create an OLAP database in the Power Pivot, guys. Next to software. Let's start. So once you install Power BI Desktop, you'll get a shortcut like this. If you want to open Power BI Desktop, just double click on the shortcut. When you double click on the shortcut, the software will open. Software will open. For the first time it open the software, you'll get a welcome screen or start screen like this. I said that we are not going to develop anything here. Just close this welcome screen or start screen. Once you close this, you will be landing in the report view. So from here, how to open Power Query software is, go to the Home tab and click on Transform Data. I'll give at a high level recap of what we did in Power Query. How to go to Power Query software is, go to the Home tab, click on Transform Data. When I click on Transform Data, it will open an interface called Power Query Editor User Interface. This is the place where we can perform what? ETL activities. So how to extract the data from Excel file? To extract the data, you need to click on what? New source. If you want to extract the data from Excel, you need to click on Excel workbook. So I'll bring some tables from sample superstore Excel. Select the sample superstore Excel, click on open. Orders table, people's table, returns table. I'll select 3 tables, press OK. And once after bringing the tables from Excel, I need to bring some more tables from another Excel file. There is another Excel file, I need to bring some more tables. Tell me how to bring some more tables from another Excel file. Again, new source. Click on new source, Excel. This time from an Excel file called EMP-DEPT Excel file. Click on open. I'll select EMP table, DEPT table, and managers table. 3 tables I need. Press OK. It will open the Excel. It will show the list of tables you have in the Excel. I just want these 3 tables for my reporting purpose. I just selected 3 tables. We need to just first OK. When you press OK, tables will get into Power Query, guys. Perfect. Now, once after bringing the yesterday's class, we even see how to connect to SQL Server, how to bring the tables, right? To connect to SQL Server, we click on what? New source, SQL Server. Fine. Now I want to transform. I need to go to the table. If required, we need to transform the data in the table. Some tables will have proper data. Orders table have proper data. In the people's table, first row is not data, it is header. How to move the first row to header? Home tab. There is a GUI option called what? Use first row as header. In the returns table also, the first row is not data, it is header. Click on use first row as header. Like this, we need to go to each table here. If required, we need to transform the data in the table. To transform the data, what options we need to use? GUI option. In the last class, I clearly explained them, right? So like this, we can transform the data. Once you are done with transforming the data in all the tables, you need to load the tables into Power Pivot. Case. How to load the tables into Power Pivot? Close and apply. We need to click on what? Close and apply. When I click on close and apply, all the 6 tables will be loaded into where means Power Pivot. Today, we'll talk about overview of Power Pivot software. Once after loading the tables into the Power Pivot, what we will do in Power Pivot, we'll discuss, guys. Fine. First point, I will explain what Power Pivot is. Power Pivot is a database. First point we need to know is Power Pivot is a database which is used for creating an OLAP model, creating an OLAP model or OLAP database. Right. So we know that when client provided the OLTP databases, you are not supposed to create the reports directly on OLTP databases. First, we need to create using OLTP databases. Power BI developer need to create a separate database called OLAP database, where he will create a separate OLAP databases in Power Pivot. How SQL Server is one database. How Oracle is one database here. Even this Power Pivot is also one database. Power Pivot is also one database. So in Power Pivot also we'll store the table. What is the purpose of database? Database is used to store the data in the form of tables. Database is used to store the data in the form of tables. Power Pivot also will do the same thing. Power Pivot also will store the data in the form of tables only. It's a database. What databases can do, even Power Pivot will do the same thing. It's a database. So we bought 3 tables from one Excel. We bought another 3 tables from another Excel. Another Excel. Totally, how many tables we bought into Power Query now? 6 tables. We loaded that 6 tables to Power Pivot. That 6 tables will be stored in the Power Pivot. As Power Pivot is a database, it can store all that 6 tables. Whatever the 6 tables you loaded, where you can find them is model view, guys. Where you can see that 6 tables which we loaded from Power Query is model view. Look at this here. When I go to model view, I can find all the 6 tables. Are we seeing 6 tables here or not? Yes. Let me bring them here. We are able to see all the 6 tables here. Right? 3 tables, another 3 tables. Right. So where you can find them is model view. So in the model view, you can see table definitions. You can see definitions only. Definitions means table name and column names. Column names. So I want to see what data is there in the EMP table. To see the data, the middle view is data view, guys. Middle view is what? Data. I mean, which view currently? Model view. Model view, we can see what means table definitions. Table definitions. Definitions means table names and column names. If I want to see the data, let's say I want to see what data is there in the orders table. I need to go to data view. I need to select which table now? Orders table. I can see the data. Now, I loaded 6 tables into the Power Pivot. All the 6 tables along with the data is stored in the Power Pivot software. As Power Pivot is a database, it's a database. It can store the data in the form of tables. Tables. All the tables and data we have it. Okay. We'll discuss more about Power Pivot. A lot of things we'll discuss. For now, you just want to understand it's a database. Okay, what we will do in Power Pivot, right? You extracted the tables from data sources. If required, we transform the data in the Power Query. Once you load the tables into the Power Pivot, once after loading in Power Pivot, what we will do with the tables? Let me write, guys. In Power Pivot, we will do 2 activities, guys. In Power Pivot, we will do how many activities means 2 activities. Let me write that point. In Power Pivot, we will perform 2 activities. In Power Pivot, Power BI developer will perform 2 activities. 2 activities. One of the activity in Power Pivot, Power BI developer will perform is data modeling. First activity is what? Data modeling. Second activity he will perform is enhancing the data model. Enhancing the data model with the help of a language called DAX language, guys. One of the important one. These are the 2 works we'll do in Power Pivot. Power BI developer, what work he will do in Power Query? ETL activities. ETL activities. In the last class, we seen in Power Query how the Power BI developer will perform ETL activities. Completely 40 minutes of time. I discussed how to do the ETL activities in the Power Query. In Power Pivot, Power BI developer will do 2 works. First work is data modeling. Second work is enhancing the Data model with the help of a language called DAX language. Today we will try to understand both of this. First, let me start with data modeling. What is data modeling? So how Power BI developer will do data modeling? All this, we'll discuss few things about data modeling today. What is the definition for data modeling is establishing the relationship between the tables. Establishing the relationships between tables we call as data modeling is establishing the relationship between the tables we call it as data modeling. So you have the tables here, table 1, table 2, table 3, giving the relationships between the tables we call it as data modeling is data modeling. Look at this, we loaded tables where we can see the table definitions means model view. In the model view you are seeing some lines between the EMP table and DEPT table. This line we call it as relationship. You are seeing one line between EMP table and managers table. This we call it as relationship. So once after loading the tables, between the tables we need to give the relationships, guys. But one point understand here, Power BI have the intelligence to do the majority of data modeling work by itself. Look at this. Between EMP table and DEPT table, who given this relationship? Am I the one who given it or you got it automatically? You got it automatically. That Power BI have the intelligence to do the majority of data modeling work by itself, guys. Power BI have intelligence to do majority of data modeling work, majority of data modeling work by itself, data modeling work by itself it can do. Yes. So how Power BI have that intelligence, how it will do the data modeling work by itself, I'll discuss in the later classes in a detailed way. For now, let me show you. In the file menu, there are two settings, report level settings. Where you will find is file menu, options and settings, options. When I go there, when I go to current file, data load, in the data load, you will have a section called what? Relationships. There are two checkboxes selected. What are the checkboxes is import relationship from data source on first load, auto detect new relationships after data is loading. What is this two checkboxes? What they will do in the back end, I'll discuss in a detailed way in the coming classes. These two checkboxes are responsible to do the majority of data modeling work by Power BI itself, guys. Power BI have the intelligence to do majority of data modeling by work by itself because of these two checkboxes. What are that? In a detailed way, I'll discuss in the later classes. For now, note Power BI itself will do the majority of data modeling work by itself, but it will not do 100%. It will not establish the relationship 100% here. Look at this here. I have a returns table and orders table. Do you have any relationship between them? No, we don't have it. Now, okay, before we go and give the relationship, developer need to give this relationship, guys. Who need to give this relationship? Developer need to give this. Developer need to give this. Now, first of all, let me ask one question. Why we need to give the relationship between the tables? Okay, we are telling that once after loading the tables into the Power Pivot, we need to give the relationship between them, we are telling. Why we need to give the relationship between the tables? What is the problem if you are not giving it? Let me explain that. What is the question is, what is the need of data modeling? What is the need of data modeling? Why we need to do data modeling? Or what is the need of establishing the relationship between the tables? What is the need of establishing the relationship between the tables? Both questions are same, guys. What is the need of data modeling? Or what is the need of establishing the relationship between the table? Both questions are what? Same. So let's answer this. Both questions are same. They frame in a different way. Let me answer this. Why we need to establish the relationship in the tables is generally companies will never store the data, all the data in single table, guys. When there is any business data, that business data will not store in a single table. Let's say my company is doing retail business, guys. When a company is doing retail business, they will get business data like retail business. They'll get the business data like customers data, products data, sales data, different data they'll get. They never store all the data in a single table. In one table, they will never store it. Why they will not store all the customers, products, sales, every data in single table is when you try to store the data, all the data in single table, managing the table is difficult. Managing the table is difficult. That is the reason what we do is generally we never store the data in the single table. So customers data they will store in one table, products data they will store in another table, sales data they will store in another table. Like this, generally when we are getting the business data, any business data, that business data will be stored in many tables. I'll discuss in a detailed way why they will store in many tables, why not in a single table. So when you store in a single table, managing the table is difficult. Managing the table is difficult. Now in the same note, I join in one company as an employee. When I join in the company as an employee, I join in the company as an employee. When I join in the company, employee details will be there. That employee details will be there. That employee details also, they are not storing in single table. Few of the employee details they are storing in employee table. Few of the employee details they are storing in DEPT table. Few of the employee details they are storing in manager table, guys. Employee details is storing in how many tables totally? Three tables. So to manage the tables easily, any business data will be stored in many tables. Okay, fine. We understand business data will be stored in many tables. Now, let me show you what data is there in employee table. In the employee table, what is the first column you have? Employee number. When you join in the company, you'll get one employee ID, right? And what is the employee name? Employee ID is 7839. His employee name is what? King. King is what to that company? King is president to King job is what? President. He's a president. He don't have any manager. He joined the company on this date. And what is the salary he's taking? What is the commission? And for which department number he's working? 10th department. Okay, few details are there. When an employee is there, he will be working in one location, right? He might be working in Hyderabad location, or he might be working in Bangalore location, or he might be working in Dallas location. Some location he will be working, right? Tell me, employee location information is there in the employee table? Location information is not there in the employee table. When employee is there, he will be working for one department name, right? He might be working for sales department. He might be working for HR department. He might be working for finance department in the company, or he might be working for IT department in the company, right? So do you have this employee is working for which department name? We don't have it. So King is working for which department? 10th. 10th department. How you will came to know King is working for which department name and location is, that information is stored in which table? Department table. When you go to the department table, 10th department employees are working for which department name? Accounting. And which location? New York. That means 10th department. King is a 10th department employee. He is working for which department name? Accounting. He is working from which location? New York. So there is an employee called Smith, guys. Smith is there. Smith is working for which department? 20th department employees are working for which department name? Research. Which location? Like this, some information of employee is storing in employee table. Some other information of employee is storing in DEPT table. Right? We understand it. Now, client is asking to create one report here. Right? Now we successfully loaded the tables into the PowerPoint. Using the tables, client is asking to create what? Visuals or reports. So if you want to create visuals or reports, we need to go to report view, guys. Where we can create the visuals? Report view. In the report view, what you can build? Visuals. We can build the visuals. You loaded some tables. The tables you will see in the model view. On the tables, if you want to create the visuals, where you need to go? Report view. When you go to report view, here you will get report canvas. This white space, we call it as report canvas. In the report canvas, what we will do? We can build the visuals. Now, my client is asking to build one visual, guys. What is the visual my client is asking to build here is? Client is asking to show employee name. When client is asking to show employee name column is available in which table? EMP table. I'll just go to EMP table. I'll drag employee name column. Along with the employee name, I need to show job. Job column is available in which table? Same EMP table. Along with the job, client is asking to show commission. or salary. What is the salary we are paying? Salary also available in EMP table. Along with the salary, client is asking to show commission. Along with the commission, client is asking to show department number. So far, I'm taking all these columns from which table? Employee table. I'm able to show comfortably here, right? So what is the employee name is Adams. Adams is a clerk. His salary is 1100. He don't have any commission, and he is working for which department? 20th department. Go and check the employee table. Look at this. Adams is a clerk. His salary is what? 1100. No commission. Department number is what? 20. You are successfully showing the information, guys. Once after showing it, in the same visual, client is asking to show department name and location, guys. Department name and location. Tell me, department name is available in which table? Department table. 20th department employees are working for which department name? Research. Research. They are working from which location? Dallas. I want to show that information here. To show that information, I need to drag the columns from which table now? D name and location. We need to drag it from department table. So we are trying to understand what here is the importance of this relationship. What we are trying to understand now? Importance of this relationship. What I'll do is I'll delete this relationship now. Between EMP table and DEPT table, we got the relationship automatically based on a common column called what? Department number column. I'll delete this relationship. Why we are deleting the relationship is we are trying to understand what is the importance of that relationship. Now, EMP table and DEPT table are independent with each other or not? They don't have any relationship. They don't have any relationship, right? They don't have any relationship. Now, what we'll do is I'll just go and try to show here what we need to show is we need to show dname and we need to show what? Location. So we'll drag dname column from DEPT table and we'll drag location column from DEPT table. Look at this. Is it showing the data here? No. So let me remove location. Let me remove dname. Now is it showing the data? When I drag only the columns from one table, EMP table, is it showing the data? Yes. When I try to take the columns from another table, it will not show the data. When I drag dname, when I drag location, it is not showing data. When I click on see details, what is the message it is giving? Cannot determine the relationship between the fields. Fields are nothing but columns, guys. You are trying to drag the columns from two different tables here, EMP table and DEPT table. Between the two tables, we don't have what? Relationship, guys. Let me write an important point here. So why we need to do the data modeling is, whenever we need to create the visuals, whenever we need to create visuals using more than one tables, we need to have the relationship between them, guys. We need to have relationship between them. Relationship between tables. If you don't have the relationship between the tables, it is not possible to create the visual using more than one table, guys. So if you want to take the data from only one table, I want to create one visual, I want to present the data from only one table in that visual. Do you need any relationship for that? No need. I want to create another visual. In the another visual, I need to take some columns from this table, another columns from this table. Do you need a relationship or not this time? 100%. When you want to create the visual using more than one tables, must and should we need to have a relationship. Then only we can show the data in the visual. Right. If you want to see the data here correctly, first I need to go and give the relationship. So in this visual, if you want to see the data, we need to give the relationship. Where we will give the relationship between the tables is model view. To give the relationship, where I need to go? Model view. Let me write that point. Data modeling can be done in model view. Relationships can be established in model view. Data modeling can be done in model view, guys. We need to go to model view and we need to do the data modeling work here. I'm just going to model view. So to establish the relationship between the two tables, must and should we need to have a common column. To give the relationship in the two tables, we need to have a common column. What is the common column you have here? Between the two tables, what is the common column you have? Department number and department number. So with that common column, you need to give the relationship, guys. Select the department number column, drag and drop on department number column. Giving the relationship is drag and drop. Look at this, how simple to give the relationship. Identify the common column, department number, just drag the same column on department number. Any direction is fine. You can even select department number, drag and drop on department number. When I drag and drop it, are we getting the relationship now? Yes, we got the relationship based on which column? Department number column, department number column. Now tell me, in the visual, will you see the data now? Yes, when I go to the visual, it is showing the data comfortably now. So 20th department employees belongs to which department name? Research, Dallas. Is it correct? Yes. Clark is a 10th department employee, belongs to what? Accounting, New York. Now you are able to show the data from two tables in single visual when you have the relationship. People will ask one question. Let's say I don't have a common column between these tables. How to give the relationship? When there is no common column between the table, client never asks you to show the data in single visual from both the tables. See, when the client will expect to see the data in the visual is when there is any related data in the two tables. That related data they will ask you. Look at this, in EMP table and DEPT table there is some related data. That is the reason they are asking to show in the visual. When there is related data in the table, obviously we will have what? Common column. Common column. Let's take an example. Will they ask to create any visual using non-related tables? So this manager table is something different, orders table is something different. They might ask you to show the data from these two tables, means no, they never ask you. Why? Because they are not related tables. They don't have common data in them. So no worries at all. When there is no common column, client never asks you to show the data in the visuals from those kind of tables. When client is asking to show the data from different tables in single visual, that means there will be a common data in the tables. Then only they will ask you. When there is a common data, you will have what column? Common column. Common column will be there. So between EMP table and managers table also, you have a common column called, which column you have? MGR. MGR. Using that common column, we got what here? Relationship. So between orders table and orders table and people's table, we have a common column called what? Region. Region. We got the relationship. Now my requirement is I need to create a visual using orders table and returns table, guys. Returns table is there, orders table is there. I want to create a visual using orders table and returns table. To create a visual, what you need to have? Relationship you need to have. Relationship you need to have. Right? To establish the relationship, what we need to have? Common column. What is the common column between these two tables you have? Order ID, order ID. Select order ID, drag and drop on order ID. Drag and drop on order ID. Now you got what? Relationship. Based on order ID column and order ID column, we got the relationship here. Now can I create a visual using these two tables now? Yes. Once you have the relationship, you can create. Once after loading the tables into the Power Pivot, first thing you need to do is we need to establish the relationship between the tables, related tables. Why we need to do that is majority of the cases, clients will ask us to create the visuals on. Clients will ask us to create visuals on more than one tables, guys. Clients will ask us to create the visuals on more than one tables. So more clients will ask us to create the visuals on. I have table one, table two. Majority of the cases, clients will ask us to create the visuals using more than one tables. If you want to create the visuals using multiple tables, first we need to have what? Relationship, right? So at a high level, I just explained what is data modeling. 5 hours of time extensively we'll discuss about data modeling concepts itself. Now for now, once after loading the tables, you will see the tables in the model view. In the model view, between the tables, you need to go and give the relationship. Power BI will give lot of relationships. There will be some missing relationships that Power BI developer need to establish based on some common columns. Right? Fine. We are done with data modeling. So look at this. When I start actual cases, when I start Power Pivot, data modeling itself will discuss for 5 hours of time. When we start data modeling, we'll discuss a lot of data variation concepts here. What is dimension column, fact column, dimension table, fact table, types of cardinalities, types of schemas. All this comes under data modeling concepts only. Every data modeling concept in a detailed way we'll discuss. One-to-one cardinality, between what kind of tables will have one-to-one cardinality, one-to-many cardinality, many-to-one cardinality, many-to-many cardinality. All these data warehousing concepts in a detailed way we'll discuss for 5 hours of time. For now, just I'm giving an overview. I'm just giving an overview. What is data modeling? Why we need to do data modeling, and where we will do data modeling. Doing the data modeling is quite simple. Just drag and drop. How to give the relationship we discussed. Right, fine. The next one is, once after data modeling, what is the second work we will do, guys? Enhancing the data model with DAX language. So let me give an overview why we need to enhance the data model. The question here is, so once after data modeling, we are telling that we need to enhance the data model. So before I explain what is enhancing the data model, I'll write few points, guys. With the data model, we can show, see, client will provide some data to you. Client will ask you to create some reports and visuals, guys. Understand an important point. Clients will provide some data to you in the data sources or OLTP systems. They will ask you to show some information in the reports and visuals. Who will tell that what information they want is clients will tell you. Tomorrow, when you join in the company as a Power BI developer, companies or clients will provide the data sources, and clients will tell you what information they want in the reports and visuals. What type of information they're expecting to see in the reports and visuals, clients will tell you. So when clients are telling what information they want to see in the reports and visuals, we'll connect to the data sources, we'll extract those tables, we'll transform the data in the tables, we will load those tables into the PowerPoint, we'll give the relationship between the tables. So once after this, you can start presenting this tables data in the visual format. In the visual format. How you can present this tables data in the visual format is using which software? Power BI. So when you start presenting the data in the visual format, we can show only 70 to 80% of information what client is asking. Client is asking to show some information in the visuals. Out of that information, with the tables and with the relationships, how much percentage of information we can show? Only 70 to 80% of information we can show. Let me write that point. With the data model, with the data model, we can show only 70 to 80% of information in the visual. 70 to 80% of information in the visuals. Right. So that means, what it means is, all the times whatever information client is asking to show in the visual, whatever information information client is asking to show in the visual, client is asking to show in the visuals, it will not be readily available in the tables, it will not be readily available in tables, guys, in the tables. So that is what I am telling here. Client will ask us to show some information in the reports and visuals. To show that information will not be readily available in the tables which we loaded. It will not be there. How much percentage of information it will be readily available is only 70 to 80% of information. Remaining 20 to 30% of information, 20 to 30% of information, it will not be readily available in our tables. It will not be readily available in the tables. That is what, with the data model, we can show only 70 to 80% of information. All the times whatever the information client is asking to show in the visuals, it will not be readily available in the tables. Let me give an example. So using these tables, client is asking to create one visual here like this. Client is asking to create one visual. In the visual, client is asking to show employee name. So employee name, in which table you have? Employee table. I'll drag it. Along with the employee name, client is asking to show salary. Salary column is available in which table? Employee table. Along with the salary, client is asking to show commission. EMP table. Along with the commission, client is asking to show total salary. Client is asking to show what information in the visual? Total salary. Total salary means salary plus commission. Salary plus commission. How much total salary for Anil? 1900. So in the visual, client is asking to show a information called total salary, guys. Now when I go to data view, when I go to employee table, do you have total salary column here? No. Total salary column is not there. That is what we are telling. Client will ask us to show some information in the visuals, which will not readily available in tables, which is not readily available in tables. So clients will ask us to show some new information. Clients will ask us to show some new information or additional information in the visuals. Additional information in visuals, which is not readily available in the tables. Which is not readily available in the tables. Which is not readily available in tables. Right? Clients is asking to show total salary here. It's a new information. It's a additional information which is not readily available in where? Employee table. In the same way, I have orders table, guys. You have which table here? Orders table. In the orders table, I have one column called sales column. In the sales column, we have all the sales transactions. So we are doing the business in how many regions is? We are doing the business in how many regions? Four regions. Four regions. What are the four regions? Is central, east, south, west. My client is asking to show what is the total sales amount we are getting from all the four regions. To show the total sales amount, I can take one visual. I'll just go to the orders table. I'll just drag which column here? Sales column. What is the total sales amount you are getting? 2.3 million. Now, my client is asking to show region-wise sales, guys. Client is asking to show what information here? Region-wise sales. I can show it easily. I can take one visual here. I can drag the region column and I'll drag the sales column. Each region, how much sales it is showing, we are able to show. Now, along with the region-wise sales, client is asking to show percentage of sales. Percentage of sales. Percentage of sales. Each region, how much percentage of sales it is doing. Which region is doing more percentage of sales? Which region is doing less percentage of sales? I want to show it. So now just go and check the orders table. In the orders table, do you have percentage sales column? You don't find it, guys. Percentage sales is a new information which client is asking to show in the visual, which is not readily available in where? Tables. That is what. So clients will ask us to show some new information in the visuals, which is not readily available in our tables. Right. That is the reason. Now, whatever the data model I build, whatever the tables I loaded, whatever the data model we build here, the tables and relationships will not help us to show 100% of information. The tables and relationships will help us just to show 70 to 80% of information. Now, what I need to do? This is the place where we need to do the second work. As the data model is not supporting to show all the information, you need to make changes to the data model. Making the changes to the data model is nothing but what? Enhancing the data model. Let's talk about what is this enhancing the data model. First, let me give the definition of enhancing the data model. Creating new information using existing information. Existing information we call as enhancing the data model, guys. Enhancing the data model means we need to create what? New information using what? Existing information. Whenever client is asking to show some new information, you no need to bring it from outside. Here client is asking to show some new information called what? Total salary. You need to derive the total salary using the existing information called what? Salary column and commission column. When you use this two, you can get the total salary. Here client is asking to show some new information called what? Percentage sales. To derive the percentage sales, you no need to bring the information from outside. Percentage sales means current region sales divided by total sales. Current region sales divided by total sales will give percentage sales, guys. You need to use the existing information. But to create the new information, only existing information is not sufficient. To create the new information, only existing information is not sufficient. Along with the existing information, we need to use which language? DAX language. In order to derive the new information, what client is asking? Only existing information is not sufficient. Along with the existing information, we need to use one language called DAX language. What DAX full form is? DAX full form is Data Analysis Expressions Language. Analysis Expressions language, and we call this as functional language. We call this DAX language as what languages? Functional language. So we have a lot of languages: C language, C++ language, Java, right? So we call this as programming languages. In the same way, DAX is also one computer language. We call DAX language as what language? Function. The reason behind that is in DAX language, 99.9% of DAX language, what it contains is pre-built functions. They will have a pre-built functions. Whenever I need to derive any new information along with the existing information, we need to go and choose the right DAX functions, guys. Whenever we need to derive any new information along with the existing information, what we need to choose? Functions. Which function will help us to derive that new information? We need to understand, guys. So DAX language mostly it contains functions, and along with the functions, DAX language will contains operators. How other languages will contains operators? Operators means functions means, let me show you. Power BI material, Power Pivot, enhancing the data model. Functions means like this: date and time functions, logical functions, text functions, mathematical functions. So there will be different DAX functions. Whenever we need to achieve some requirement, we need to go and use any one of these functions here. Whatever the functions we have here, we need to use those functions, either sum x, all these are DAX functions. In the same way, along with the functions, DAX language will contains what? Operators. How the other languages will contains operators? How the other languages will contains operators? Here also will have DAX language also have types of operators. What are the different types of operators you have is arithmetic operators. So in any language you will find same kind of operators. Next one is what? Comparison operators, text concatenation operators, logical operators. So while deriving the new information, we'll make use of this operators, will make use of functions, right? Okay, fine. First let me complete this visual. If you want to complete this visual, what you need to show here? Total salary. If you show total salary, we can complete this visual, guys. I need to derive a new information called total salary so that we can complete the, where we will create the new information is, new information will be created in data view, guys. Where we will do data modeling work? Model view. You need to go to model view and we need to do the data modeling work. Model view is the place where we'll give the relationship between the tables. So where we need to create the new information or where we need to enhance the data model is data view. Let me write here. Enhancing the data model can be done in data view. Enhance the data model can be done in data view. Right. So what is the steps? First, I will complete this visual. If you show total salary, you can complete this visual, guys. You need to go to data view and you need to select the table where we need to create the new information. Total salary we need to create in which table? Employee table. Total salary is related to what? Employee table. Select the employee table. Once after selecting the employee table, you'll get table tools. In the table tools, you'll get calculations. Calculations is the place where we will derive the new information. Where we will derive the new information is, understand the navigation. We need to go to where? Data view. And we need to select the table where we need to create the new information. You'll get the table tools. In the table tools, you'll get calculations. Calculations is the place where we'll derive what? New information. Let me quickly write that navigation. So go to data view, select the table where we need to create new information. Once you select it, you'll get table tools. In the table tools, you'll find calculations. Calculations is the place where we will derive what? New information. New information. Okay. Now, how many types of new information will create in Power Pivot is? So as part of enhancing the data model, we'll create the new information, right? How many types of new information we'll create is? We'll create three types of new information. Three types of new information. What are the three types of new information we'll create is? Sometimes we'll create columns. Sometimes we'll create measures. Sometimes we'll create tables. To achieve the client requirement, understand here, client is just asking to show total salary here. To show the total salary, you might need to create either a column or either you might need to create a measure or either you might need to create a new table also. I'll discuss when to create columns, when to create measures, when to create tables. We'll discuss. For now, in order to show this new information, we need to create any one of this new information. Totally, how many types of new information we create? Three types: columns, measures, tables. So whenever we need to create the columns, columns can be created using an option called new column option, guys. Columns can be created using an option called what? New column. New column. New column. Measures can be created using an option called new measure or quick measure. Measures can be created using new measure or quick measure. Tables can be created using an option called what? New table. Let me write here. Columns can be created using an option called new column. New column. Measures can be created using an option called new measure or quick measure. New measure or quick measure. And tables can be created using an option called new table. New table. Right. So we know that new information will be created in where? Table tools calculation section. How many types of new information is? Columns, measures, tables. Columns can be created using an option called new column. Measures can be created using an option called either new measure or quick measure. Tables can be created using an option called new table. Okay. So whenever we need to create columns, comma measures and tables, we need to write DAX formulas or DAX expressions, guys. In order to create columns or measures or tables, what we need to write is DAX formulas or DAX expressions. So this is the important area for a Power BI developer, guys. Whenever client is asking to show some new information in the visual, to show that new information, you might need to create either a column or a measure or a table. To create column, measures or tables, Power BI developer need to write what? DAX formulas or DAX expressions. Expressions. So we'll write the DAX formulas or expressions not. So you need to write some code here. We'll write the code only one or two lines of code. How many lines of code? One or two lines of code. That one or two lines of code we'll write with what? Functions and operators. DAX language will contain 99.9% DAX language is what? Functions. Few operators are there. You need to make use of these functions and operators, and you need to write the DAX formulas or DAX expressions, guys. Right. Now, okay, client will just tell us what they want to see here. Power BI developer need to decide to show that whether he need to create a column or whether he need to create a measure or whether he need to create a new table to show that who need to understand is developer. When client is asking to show total salary, developer need to have an idea to show the total salary, what I need to create out of these three. Now, now let me talk about which one I need to create. First, I'll discuss when to create columns. First, we'll discuss what? When to create columns. In what scenarios we'll create columns? When to create column. What is the first type of information we'll create? Columns. So let's discuss when to create the columns. So when to create the columns is in a table, in a table for every row, if you need a calculation, for every row, if we need a calculation, we'll create columns, guys. So in a table for every row, if you need a calculation or if you need one value, we'll create columns, guys. Calculation or value. What it means is, let me explain. So here you need to show what? Total salary, guys. To show the total salary in the EMP table, for every employee, I need to take their salary, I need to take their commission, I need to sum them, I need to show it. In the EMP table, for every row, I need to take their salary, I need to take their commission, I need to sum them, I need to show it. For every row, I need to do this calculation. I need to take their current salary, current commission, I need to show total salary. In a table, in a table, for every row, if you need one calculation or if you need one value, we need to create what? Column. We can create the column with which option? New column option. Simple, guys. Go to the data view, select the table where we need to create the new information. In this table, currently for every row I need one value. In EMP table, for every row when you need one value, we need to create what? Column. That column we can create with which option? New column. Just click on new column. When I click on new column, I already said that When you want to create columns, measures, or tables, what you need to write? DAX formulas are DAX expressions. Here, when I try to create a column before equal to, it is asking to give the column name. After equal to, you need to write what? Formula. While writing the formula, what are the things we'll use is, while writing the formula, we'll use existing columns, existing information, existing information. Whenever I need to derive the new information, I might use existing information. Along with the existing information, we'll use what? DAX functions, correct. DAX functions. Along with the DAX functions, we'll use what? Operators. Sometimes we can get the requirement with only existing information and operators. With existing information and operators itself, you'll get the output. Sometimes you will get the requirement with the existing information and functions. Sometimes to get the output, we might need to use all the three together also. All the three together. Whenever client is asking to show any new information, to derive that new information, we need to make use of this case, right? Now, so what is the column we are planning to derive? Total salary. Give the column name as total salary. After equal to, you need to write the DAX formula. To show the total salary, you need to use what? Salary column. Existing column called salary. Existing column called commission. Along with the existing columns, you need to add salary plus commission. For that, which operator you need to use? Arithmetic operator. We need to use the arithmetic operator here. So I just want to take salary column plus commission column. So when I try to run this formula, it will throw error, guys. I'm taking salary column, commission column. I used an operator called plus. What it is doing? Error. So why it is throwing error is, it is telling that cannot find which column? Salary. So every language will have some syntax. Java language will have some syntax. C language will have some syntax. In the same way, DAX language also have some syntax, guys. What is the syntax for DAX language is, whenever we are using any existing column, only column name when you use it, it will throw error. Only column name when you use it, it will throw error. So how you need to use is, first you need to start with table name. Salary column is available in which table? Employee table. And unsorted table name, you need to write the column. Column. Table name, square bracket, column name. This is the syntax. Don't ask us why you need to write it. It is what? Syntax. Every language will have some syntaxes. DAX language follow this syntax. Whenever we need to use any existing column, you are not supposed to write only column name. You are supposed to write what? First, table name, and in the square bracket, you need to write what? Column name. Column name. You can type it emp square bracket column name, and then plus emp square bracket commission. Now when you execute it, it will execute comfortably. 2450 plus nothing, how much it is? 1600 plus 300, how much it is? Are you able to get total salary? Yes. So here it is not necessary developer need to write type complete table name and column name. Just type salary. It will show suggestion here. Just click on this with the mouse. You got table name, square bracket, column name. Just type commission. It will show suggestion here. Or else, if you want to click, you can click on this in the with mouse, or click on tab in the keyboard. To get this into the formula bar, with mouse click on this, or with the in the keypad click on tab. When I click on tab in the keypad, you'll get it, guys. Now in the table, for every row you derived one value, total salary value. Now my EMP table have total salary or not? Can I show the total salary in this visual now? Yes, you can comfortably show it. Just drag the total salary and show it here. In a table, for every row, if you need one calculation, we need to create what? Columns, guys. We'll discuss more about it in the coming classes. When to create columns, when to create measures, what is the difference between columns and measures, in a more detailed way, what is the difference between columns and measures, in a more detailed way we will discuss. For now, we just understand when to create the columns, guys. Next type of new information we create is what? Measures. Let's talk about when to create measures. Second type of new information we'll create is measures. When to create measures. So client is asking, client provided one employee table to me. Using the employee table, client is asking to show for all the employees how much sum of salary we are paying. How many employees are working in the company? 15 employees. For all the 15 employees, how much sum of salary we are paying? What I need to show? What is the sum of salary we are paying for all the 15 employees? To show sum of salary means you need to add all the salaries and you need to show one value. For group of rows, you need to show one value now. So client provided the EMP table. Using the EMP table, they're asking to show what is the total salary we are paying for all the employees here. So what is the total salary we are paying for all the employees client is asking to show. How can you show that is? For that, you need to create what? Measure, guys. When to create measures is, so whenever we need to perform aggregate calculations, whenever we need to perform aggregate calculations, comma percentages, we will create measures. We'll create measures. Or else the same definition I'll write like this. Aggregate calculations means for group of rows one value. In a table, so same statement I can redefine like this. In a table, for group of rows, if you need a value, if you need a value, we will create measures, guys. We'll create what? Measures. When we will create columns? For every row, if you need a calculation or a value. When you will create a measures? For group of rows. Only difference is both are in table for every row here. In a table for group of rows. For group of rows, if you need one value or calculation, if you need a value or calculation for group of rows, we'll create the measures. The requirement is same now. I have EMP table. In the EMP table for group of rows, I need one value. For all the employees, I need to show their sum of salary. For group of rows, when you need a value, what we need to create? Measure. We need to create a measure. Right. So we'll discuss more about it. As I said that for now, just understand at a high level. What is the difference between columns and measures? How they will work? Those are important. DAX is important in Power BI. We'll discuss in a detailed way. For now, so here I want to create a measure, guys. Now my client is asking to show what is the sum of salary we are paying for all the employees. To show this sum of salary, I need to go to data view. Sum of salary is related to which table? Employee table. This time the requirement is for group of rows, I need one value. For all these rows, I need one value or calculation. I need to create what? Measure. You can create the measure using what? Either new measure or quick measure. New measure or quick measure. I'll use this time new measure, guys. I'll use what this time? New measure. When I click on new measure, I can give the measure name. What is the measure name here? Any name you can give it. So look at this. I'll just do it again. So just go to data view, select the employee table. So for group of rows, I need one value. For that, I need to create a new measure. I need to create a measure. Measure I will create using which option? New measure. When I click on new measure, it will ask you to give the measure name. Whether it is a column or whether it is a measure or whether it is a table, you need to write what? DAX formula. So here I'll give the measure name as sum of salary. Sum of salary. To get the sum of salary, I need to sum all the values in this column, guys. To sum all the values in this column, you need to know. So while writing the formula, what are the things you'll use? Existing columns, functions, and operators. You need to identify to sum all the values in the column. What existing information? What existing information I need to use? Salary. Along with that existing information, which DAX function will help us or which DAX operator will help us, we need to know, guys. So which DAX function will help us is, there is a DAX function called mathematical and statistical function, guys. So when you go to mathematical and statistical function, there is one DAX function with the name sum function. Sum function add all the numbers in a column. What sum function will do? It will add all the numbers in one column. Now here that is the requirement I have. I want to add all the numbers in the column. For that, which DAX function I need to take? Sum. When I take sum function, what you need to pass as an argument? Column name. Which column will pass now? Salary. When you pass salary, what it will do? Add all the numbers in the column. Whenever we need to pass any column name, only column name is not sufficient. You need to pass with what? Table name, square bracket, column name. Just close this, enter, guys. When you enter, You derived a new measure here. You derived a new measure. Now just go and take one visual. Into that visual, drag a column called sum of salary. What is the total sum of salary we are paying for all the employees? 39k. 39k. And there are types of measures, guys. When we are creating the measures, two types of measures are there: implicit measures, explicit measures. What is implicit measures? What is explicit measures? What is the use of them? We'll discuss it. What is the difference between columns and measures? We'll discuss. For now, at a high level, understand, clients will ask us to show some new information in the visuals which will not readily available in your tables. To show that new information, we need to derive it and we need to show it. For now, I just given a high level understanding why we need to enhance the data model. In a more detailed way, in a more detailed way, enhancing the data model DAX part we'll discuss for 12 hours, guys. Enhancing the data model with the DAX language, we'll discuss all the functions, all the operators extensively. How to create the new information, we'll discuss it. 12 hours of time we'll discuss this. For now, we'll stop here. In today's class, we discussed Power Pivot. So tomorrow, for few minutes, we'll discuss Power Pivot. For 10-15 minutes, I'll discuss Power Pivot only. And then we'll start with what? Power View. So I'll stop here today. We'll continue from here in tomorrow's class. Tomorrow's class, few more minutes, we'll discuss Power Pivot. For now, we understand in Power Pivot, we need to do data modeling and we need to enhance the data model with DAX language. At a high level, we understand this too for today. Right, guys, let me stop here.